In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your very own Tsum Tsum house, perfect for hanging on your wall to display your favorite Tsum Tsums in. Let's get started! Now the first thing you need for this project is a box. I'm using an old shoe box here, and I painted the inside of it pink. But you don't have to paint it because I will be covering it with paper. So the next thing I need are my foam cups. And these are 8.5 ounce foam styrofoam cups, and you can find them at most grocery stores. And what I do with these is I'll take them out and see how many of them I can fit inside my box. Now I have all my cups inside my box, and I was able to fit 14 of them. I didn't glue them in because there's something I want to do with the cups before I actually glue them in there. And I'll also be covering my box with paper. Now this step is completely optional, but this is something fun you can do with your cups just to give them a little more color. So what I do is I take one of these little plastic covers that you get from those restaurant cups, and I take some acrylic paint and I just squeeze it all around the edge of the inside of the cup like this. Don't mind if it's a little messy, that'll be okay. And then I'll take a little brush and just brush that into my edges like this. Next I take one of my cups, and all I do is I take the top of my cup and I just twist it in there. And then I lift it up to see if it has enough color, and I put it back in again if necessary. And there, now you have the rim of the cup is a nice color purple. And usually from this paint I can get either 2 or 3 cups done. You could do any different colors you want. For example, here I'll show you the ones that I've already done. Since I have 14, I did 2 of each color here. So when your cups are dry, you can get started on your box. So to cover my box, what I have here is scrapbook paper. And this I get from Hobby Lobby, and they're usually 59 cents each, but if you go during their paper crafting sale, you can get them for half price. So I usually go when there's a paper crafting sale, and I'll pick up quite a few of them. For this box, I'll be using 4. So I have my stick glue here, and all I'll do, since my box is 12 by 12 inches, and each of these are 12 by 12 inches, I won't really need to do much cutting. So I'll just glue all the inside of the box with this glue, and then I'll take one of my papers and place it inside here until it goes all the way to the end, and then I'll just press that down. Go all the way down, and then press it down smoothly with your fingers. Now you don't have to cut this, because what I'll be doing next is just folding this over. So I'll put a little glue under here, and then I'll actually fold this all the way underneath so that it will stay nice and secure. If you want, you can actually cut off the excess paper, that's okay too. Now that I've finished with this side, I'll just turn my box around. I've glued the inside of it, and I'll do exactly the same thing with that. I'll place my paper inside, make sure it goes all the way to the bottom, and then fold it over and go underneath it. Now I finished covering 3 sides of my box, and I did cut off some of the excess from the bottom so that I could actually cover in the corners with. What I'll be doing with this is actually taping the sides so that they stay nice and secure. There's one more thing I have to do before I actually cover this side of my box. I need to attach a piece of yarn so that I can hang this from the wall with if I choose. Now I have my piece of yarn ready, and I actually have 2 strands of them together. And what I'll do is I'll just glue it in this corner, the bottom corner of the box. So I'll just use a little hot glue because I want to make sure it stays nice and secure. Just a little bit. And then I'll press it down in my hot glue, making sure that it stays on the corner because the paper will actually cover this side of it. Once I'm finished hot gluing both of the sides, like this, then I'll go back, and what I'll do is I'll add a piece of tape, and then I'll just tape this corner of it just to make sure it stays nice and secure and that it won't come off when you hang it on the wall, which I don't think will be a problem because the Tsum Tsums are very light. Like this. Now I finished attaching the string to the box, and I put 2 pieces of tape and hot glue on each side just to make it nice and secure. Now before I put this paper on this side of the box, what I'll do is I'll cut out 2 squares from this bag. And this bag I actually found at the Dollar Tree, and I just love it because it screams Tsum Tsums. So what I'll do is I'll take this and use it to measure 2 squares that are 12 by 12, and then I'll cut them both out, and then I'll attach them to my box. I finished cutting out my 2 squares. One will go on the inside and one will go on the outside of the box. But before I do that, what I'll do is glue in my remaining piece of paper on the inside and outside of this box. So I have my glue in there already. I'll just slide this paper in and make sure it goes all the way to the end again. Flatten it with my hand and then add some glue on this side and fold it over again, making sure that my string isn't covered by the paper. So what I'll do is I'll lift up my string like this and glue the paper underneath it, like this. Now that all 4 sides have been covered, what I can do is glue one of my squares on the back. So what I'll do is put glue all on the bottom of the box, and then I'll just place this right on top like this, so it looks like this when it's finished. Finish adding a square on the inside of the box, so now what I'll do is just tape around the edges. So here I have some big tape. You can use any tape you have. And what I'll do is just secure my edges, just so they don't come loose. So I'll put my tape here, and then just wrap it right around the edge, like this. And I'll do this on all my corners. I already taped the bottom, I just taped it with thin tape. I taped around the edge so that this part wouldn't come loose either. I finished attaching the tape to all my edges, so now I'll attach my cups, and I'll be using hot glue for that. So what I did was I placed the cups in the order I want them to go, and I'll just be taking each one out as I want to glue them, putting some glue on it, and pressing it back down there. I'll use a lot of hot glue for each one, and then I'll use this acrylic paint to press it down and hold it in place. So I'll take my blue cup and squeeze some hot glue as fast as I can on the bottom, like this. And then I'll press it down into its place, and then just press down hard with my paint until I'm sure it sticks. With hot glue, you have to work pretty fast because it does cool off pretty fast, so that's why I did that quickly. I'll do the same thing with the orange one. Squeeze some hot glue on there, and then quickly place it in my box. That's why I have them set out in the order I want them to go, so that way I don't forget where I want each one to go. Just trying to make a pattern. And press it down hard until it sticks in there. I'll do the same thing with all the rest of my cups, and then I'll show you what they look like with the Tsum Tsums in them. So now I've finished attaching all my cups inside, and now I'll be adding my Tsum Tsums. Now you could of course put your favorite ones in there because it depends how many you have. You might not be able to display all of your Tsum Tsums, but I'll just give you an idea of what it could look like. I'll try to do this as fast as possible. Here we go. And then of course you could change them out if you get new ones, or you could make more than one of these. Oh, she goes in here. I try to match them by color, but it doesn't have to be. So this is just an idea of what they look like. And then of course, let's say you want to change them up. You could add somebody else. Here's the Tsum Tsum house hanging from the wall. What I did was I used an existing nail, but you could also hang this from a push pin because it is very light. I hope you liked this video. Thanks so much for watching.